my name is Stephanie Muse. I am a 4th grade teacher at the Learning Community in Central Fall, a mom of twins living in East Providence, organizer behind a Safe Return to School RI, and one of many Rhode Islanders who feels like they have not been heard regarding school reopening plans. I stand with every single Rhode Islander who has attached their name to the Safe Return to School RI's petition, which I am honored to have the opportunity to deliver to the governor today. Governor Raimondo, yesterday thousands of Rhode Islanders watched the virtual town hall where you hosted Dr. Fauci and were disappointed as you fielded him not questions from your constituents, but questions about scenarios for returning to school that are currently fiscally and logistically impossible for the majority of schools in Rhode Island. Dr. Fauci, talk about how great it would be for kids to do school outside. Do you agree that it would be lovely for students to learn sprawled on rolling hills of green? Yes. Don't we all agree? Wouldn't that be a safer, lovelier version of a return to school than the one that we currently face? Unfortunately, the people in our schools day after day after day, year after year after year, budget cut after budget cut after budget cut, see through the dream you're selling of picnic lunches and outdoor lessons straight into the reality that is the current state of our school buildings and school budgets. At the Warwick School Committee meeting on Tuesday night, Warwick voted on a full return to distance learning after spending over an hour. That's right. After spending over an hour reporting on the due diligence they did to arrive at this decision. According to Warwick's chief budget officer, to return students to in-person learning in any capacity would cost the district over $12 million they don't currently have. Would require over 80 janitorial positions they've to date received 12 applications for. Would require power they don't have to run over 1,000 fans they also don't have. Would require windows in classrooms that all but one of their schools, you guessed it, don't have. Warwick is not in a unique position, are not the only Rhode Island school district lacking funding, transportation, protective equipment, cleaning supplies, and staff needed to meet guidelines for a safe return to school. There are multiple districts in the state that don't have enough school nurses to open safely right now. Central Falls doesn't have a single school nurse or a budget to rehire one of them. To pretend as though any further amount of work or returning to the drawing board by teachers and district leaders who have worked tirelessly and logged countless hours on task forces to write these impossible plans, to pretend as though more work on their part would make opening schools for an in-person return any bit more possible is a waste of our time and preciously scarce school resources. Use the money we are wasting on plexiglass and hand sanitizer and face masks for our 5-year-olds and deliver free lunch and breakfast to our families, fund stimulus packages and unemployment, deliver immunizations and mental health services, and financially support people in staying home until our numbers drop. And then, and only then, open our schools. I don't know what the right number is, but my gut as a parent and a teacher is that it isn't 100 cases per 100,000, a less stringent number than many other states nationwide, than many other experts currently recommend. I do know that when it comes to our children's and school staff safety, it would be prudent to err on the side of caution and that there is no award to be won for being the state that heads back first. Before our last rally, you accused us of being misinformed. We stand here today accused of cowardice, of lacking innovation, of throwing in the towel, of wanting to extend the summer vacation many of us have spent almost every waking moment of keeping track of and calling you on your BS. Teachers have been asked to do the impossible by this country over and over and over again. We have made boxes to hold books out of cereal boxes. We have made furniture out of milk crates, student mailboxes out of pizza boxes, dried out markers into watercolors, YouTube videos into meaningful art and music curriculums, have melted crayon scraps into new crayons, have carefully peeled Scotch tape off of and removed staples from wall displays again and again and again, year after year after year, and have successfully turned the dollar store into a welcoming classroom environment. To know a teacher, to be in a relationship with a teacher is to know that they spend 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, dreaming, scheming, and squeezing blood from stones. Over and over, teachers and school leaders are asked to deliver something from nothing. But we cannot ask, and you must stop asking teachers and district leaders to attempt to deliver a safe return to school out of a pandemic our elected leaders continue to fail to handle. Dr. Fauci sat with you yesterday and told all of Rhode Island that we were green and good to go. And since it seems no other grown-up or more qualified party in the room is willing to take up this fight, though many, many, many other experts agree, I am going to now explain to you, Rhode Island, why Rhode Island is not green and why Rhode Island is not good to go. Instead of sleeping yesterday or enjoying our beautiful beaches or my beautiful babies, myself and a dozen other teachers did the work I wish our Department of Health would step up to do. We looked at the data you so expertly know how to spin in your favor. Rhode Island is green by one measure and one measure only. As a state, by the White House Task Force's elusive red, yellow, green measure. This metric has been rebutted by numerous public health experts, including by the Harvard Global Health Institute, who has found more stringent guidelines to be a more appropriate measure of risk and currently identifies Rhode Island as yellow and orange depending on the county, not green. Not one green county by their measure. Dr. Jessica Malati Rivera, the science communication lead at the COVID tracking project, has said, if the test positivity rate is above 10%, that means we're not doing a good job mitigating the outbreak. There are currently 7 municipalities with over a 10% positive testing rate. Central Falls, Providence, North Providence, Pawtucket, Woonsocket, Johnston, and East Providence with Cranston and Warwick close behind them. And you still refuse to yield that any one of those districts might even so much as entertain the possibility of a full return to distance learning in the fall. Meanwhile, allowing bars, beaches, and non-essential businesses in those same communities to remain open even after over 20% of bars were found to not be in compliance with safety regulations, even when our numbers continue to rise. Governor Raimondo, I will close with a few words of Dr. Fauci's I found myself hoping you heard yesterday during your forum. It is in your purview. You can do it. And to the rest of my elected officials, we are tired. I am tired. It is your turn to take up this fight. You cannot continue to let the burden of this fight rest on the shoulders of the school staff and families you represent when we stand on the brink of a school year facing unprecedented challenges. So many of you have told us that you are going to wait and see what happens. Are you even watching? What are you waiting for? Explain to me.